It goes right back to
exactly.
these companies that continue to look at this. And I don't want to paint this picture, folks, that everything is rosy. But I think Jeff is pointing out what is possible. And there are things that
Yes.
we don't see all the time. But and to your credit, you don't make those decisions prior. You don't underestimate this market.
No, and I want to remind folks that this is not this crisis we're going through that obviously had severe economic impact. It did not start as an economic crisis, right, Dan? Of course, it was a healthcare crisis, a legitimate one. My point is, and tell me if this analogy works for you, Dan, but let's say that there's an NFL quarterback and he was known for his powerful arm. He breaks his ankle, right? Okay, well, you should have a lot of confidence that once that ankle heals, he's going to go back to being the same quarterback if he wasn't a running quarterback, right? That arm is fine. That was his powerful weapon, right? So the same thing here. This was not an economic crisis. So as soon as we have this healthcare crisis, at least somewhat managed, there's every reason to believe that the economy, both nationally and locally, is really going to grow and rebound again. And, hey, I want to say to folks, I've been here in this market now since I moved back from Cleveland. I'm originally from the Valley, but 25 years ago. The last 10 years or so, I think the Valley has become a different place, right? The economy has grown stronger each of those years, and just a different mindset, Dan, among business owners, entrepreneurs, the younger generation. I'm sick of being seen as, lagging in Ohio, as being, a place economically not the same. There's a lot of really smart business people here. There's a lot of really savvy young people coming up. I've got a number of them that work for me. And I think that the future, no one can predict for sure, but I think our future is way better than than we thought in the past. And finally on that, Dan, you have a 15-year-old daughter. I don't know what she's going to want to do when she grows up and goes in the marketplace, but if she wants to stay here in the Valley, I want her to have that choice, that option. So I think that's what every business owner in this Valley wants. We want to do well, but we want to do even better and set up the next generation. So you've got to have the right attitude, right?
Before you go, touch on just a couple of them. Throw four things at you, and maybe you can put them into one question. Unemployment is terrible right now. The stock market has recovered. The GDP growth rate and Youngstown's unemployment rate. If you can kind of wrap that into maybe a final thought here.
Yeah, I think that, you're right, although even relative to maybe, again, going into this, all those numbers you talked about were relatively speaking excellent numbers, right? I think we're going to see in the next, not so much maybe May, we're going to see a little bit of May, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what June delivers. So I think all those things, GDP, unemployment, and so forth, again, barring any big reoccurrence of the COVID-19 outbreak, which I don't think medically they're calling for now, I think we're going to see a strong, powerful economy reemerging. I think, America's going to do some things differently in terms of reliance on China, which I'm very grateful for. And, Dan, we can maybe touch base in a month and a half or so, see if we're both right on this. But I think there's great things to look forward to. It's going to take hard work. It's not going to come easily, but I'm very confident.
Yeah, but overall, you would say you're bullish on the Mahoning Valley, even though we've had, a shrinking economy here. But we do have there is commerce going on here, and you prove it every day.